Hey ManCave, this is Bob from Bob's N Scale ManCave, and today we have a product review for you. The ScaleTrains BSC F68AH and BH Bulkhead Flatcars and Finger Rack Flatcars. So let's get right into this review right now. So these are the Finger Rack Flatcars, the BSC F68BH. This one happens to be the trailer train yellow car with red TTX logos on it, and those are the red ones right there. This is number 8396. The cars, as advertised on the back, these are basically era 1969 to present. The prototype example is from 1991 with a speed logo that have been documented in service to the present day. It has factory applied laser cut wood deck, which is right here, and it also has a traverse deck risers, which are these little things here, the fingers, the recessed deck tie down details, which we can kind of look at those. Also has photo etched stainless steel see-through end crossover platforms, which I'm not quite seeing that one on this finger rack. It does look like it's on the Bulkhead Flatcar. It does have factory applied metal grab irons, coupler cut levers, and train line hoses, and early H-shaped jacking pads, and it has a complete underbody brake system. So let's take a look at some of these details up close here. Here's some detail, some close-up detail right there. You can see the little strap anchor areas right there along the sides, and you got these pads here to hold the product. You can see the side and probably read all those details pretty well. The bottom, all that brake system looks really well done. Body mounted couplers, so that shouldn't be too big of a problem. You can see the hose details right under there for the airline hoses right there. At the end, you can see the brake wheel that stands up right there. There we go, a little bit better. You can see the brake wheel detail. Be careful that will break off, hence it's a brake wheel. Nice looking knuckle couplers. They are microtrains compatible to hook up to, and these are pretty realistic. A lot of details on this particular car, and I like it. Now you may be wondering, well, what is a finger rack, and why do I need some of these? Well, commonly the steel companies like Bethlehem Steel would use these to make rebar, and then the rebar would be placed in bundles on these cars. And so this is like a 68-foot car, so about 60 feet of rebar would be put on there of various sizes and maybe even lengths, but typically that's how they stacked them. So they'd roll them in there, put another layer of dunnage underneath that first layer, stack another set of rebar up on top, probably maybe four to five layers high, depending on how much they're putting in there. And then they would transport it that way. Rebar, of course, is used for reinforcing cement in buildings and all sorts of other things like that, but mainly for reinforcement and make the cement stronger. So I'm going to do a little roll test here on this 22-inch radius curve, code 55. And that goes pretty darn fast. It rolls really nice. It has a good weight to it, and yeah, I think these are going to be really nice on the layout. Okay, this one is the Bulkhead Flatcar, TTPX yellow, number 80026. And as you can see, it has Black lettering for the trailer train, and all those little markings that are on there. Looks similar to the finger rack, but doesn't have the fingers, and it has bulkhead ends to it. You can use this for transporting lumber and other kind of bulk amounts of items that you want to have stacked in there. Usually you'll see this with a lot of lumber packages, 2x4s and so forth, being transported. And so this one here is an era from 1973 to the early 1990s. It is an as-built bulkhead design, 62 feet in length, inside length, between the bulkheads, that is. Factory applied laser cut wood deck, a recessed deck, tie down details like the finger rack was, photo etched stainless steel see-through end crossover platforms, factory applied metal grab irons, a couple of cut levers and train line hoses, and a complete underbody brake system like the finger rack has as well. So let's take a little bit closer look. As you can see, you have a nice deck detail on there. Everything's raised up. You can kind of see the raised platform parts here to keep all the stuff able to be tied down and strapped down. All those little tie down notches right down in there where to tie down the straps. On the bulkhead ends, a lot of detail there, that's for sure. All the bracing and everything to keep the bulkhead in place. You can see the metal platforms right there they were talking about, see-through. Yep. Oh, there you go. And the coupler and the coupler cut levers and all that stuff are right there on the end. The bottom detail looks similar to the finger rack car. Body mounted couplers with the hose lines, with the air hose lines right here. All the brake piping and everything else on the bottom. Center brace for strength. And metal wheel sets. On this end here you've got the bulkhead end with the brake wheel, and that's about the only thing that's really different on this end of it. You can also see kind of like the details. It's grooved on the side here, so they went all out with some detail here in this rivet counter bulkhead flat car. And as before, let's see how it rolls. Barely even touched it, and it just rolls really, really nice. So these are probably my best rollers from ScaleTrains that I've had in a long time, and they're nice. There's a nice weight to them. I haven't weighed them, but they are compliant with the standard weight for N-scale cars, and these should turn out looking pretty good on the layout. So there you go, ManCavians. That's been my review of these ScaleTrains flat cars, bulkhead flat cars and finger rack flat cars, the BSC F68AH and BH cars respectively. What I like about them is they're very detailed. I was really surprised at how much detail is actually in these. I know they came out in HO scale a while back, and finally nice to see them in N scale. The detail was really good. The weight feels like there's some weight to it, and it's going to stay on the tracks, and that's always a good thing, especially if they're unloaded with some weight. They're going to run just fine behind everything else. They roll extremely well, and the couplers seem to couple up very well as well, so that's always a good thing. What I'm going to probably do now is I'm going to have to model some of these and put some rebar loads and some wood pallet loads in there. And you can do that a number of ways. There's some really thin 26 gauge wire, which is you can cut up and bundle those up and make your own loads. Or you can use some balsa wood and print out some wood pallet kind of badging and stuff like that that you can find online. There's a bunch of different locations that you can get some of that wherever you want to get it. Glue it onto the piece of wood, set it down on your load, as your load on your car, and off you go. You may even want to strap it down too. You can kind of put those little kind of wires around there or some tape and strap them down somehow to keep them from sliding off the car as you're running around your layout. So I've got 9 of these cars total. I've got 4 finger rack cars and 5 bulkhead cars. And I'm going to lay them all out here to do a run by for you at the end of this video. So stay tuned for that. But all in all, these are really good looking cars and they roll real well. And I haven't seen any problems with them yet. And get some if you haven't gotten some. Get them. They come in like yellow TTX and some red oxide colored versions, and so there's quite a few little versions out there you can get. So check out ScaleTrains.com to find out more and order your own as well. I'm sure they're going to have some extras there in stock, hopefully. You can pick up some, well, like now before they're gone. Or you got to wait for the second run and the third run, and why wait? So if this is your first time visiting the Bob Zendscale Man Cave, consider subscribing down below and also ring that bell to get notified of future videos like this one. And also, leave a comment, tell me what you liked, what you didn't like, and also give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Till next time, Man Cavians, happy mile railroading. You stay off those tracks.